What up? Welcome back. Golden Era Episode 5, 2022-23 season recap. We'll jump right in. Ahead of the draft lottery, just a reminder, the Warriors, they make that deal a couple seasons ago with the Charlotte Hornets so they can move up from 5 to 3 to take Jonathan Kuminga. As part of that deal, the Warriors get a swap right on the Hornets 2022 first-round pick. That's really not expected to be a big deal. The Hornets are supposed to be a building team. Well, they end up at number 9. Obviously, the Warriors are fresh off winning the NBA Finals, so expected that this team, the Warriors, are going to pick in the lottery, likely to go number 9. So let's look at the draft lottery as it played out. Top odds, Hawks via the Wolves, the Cavs, Spurs, Cavaliers via the Knicks, and the Rockets are expected to be the top 5. Doesn't play out like that at all. The Hornets, that pick ends up jumping up to number 2, where the Warriors obviously say we're swapping it. The Pistons go from 6 to 1. Rockets, Spurs, and Hawks via the Wolves round out the top 5. So a disastrous night for Atlanta, a disastrous night for Charlotte. Now, as part of that deal, the Warriors are going to get Jonathan Kuminga, and they're going to get the number 2 pick in the 2022 draft. So this is the first class that's not real to the normal world. This is the first fictional draft, so a special shout out to our content creators over on Operation Sports. JB and Jeff Rule, the two that I've used their draft classes the most for. This is a JB class, so shout out to them and everybody else on OS. It's a fantastic community. They do a phenomenal job of creating great custom content for users. Unfortunately, the user generator, the automated generated classes from 2K are just not anything to write home about. I think that's a pretty common gripe across the board, but especially in the Dynasty community. So thank you to everybody that creates those draft classes. They are huge burdens of time, and great work goes into it. So thank you to them. It's really why this Dynasty is what it is. So quick recap of who this class is going to be. The number 1 pick is expected to be Ibrahim Mobley. He's a power forward out of St. John's. He's a Chris Bosh repeat. Really good forward, great three-point shot for his size, expected to be really good in that avenue. Next big name is Desmond Cooper. He's a senior out of Fresno State. Great shooter, but not a great defender. That's going to be the one knock on him. Kareem Livingston, forward out of Kentucky, really talented, two-way wing. Sasha Kasparov and Julius Walker are the 2 big-name bigs. Sasha Kasparov out of Russia. Julius Walker getting some Dwight Howard comps. He is going out of Georgia. So, the draft class itself and the way it plays out. Desmond Cooper surprisingly goes number 1 to the Pistons. That gifts the Warriors Ibrahim Mobley, maybe the best player in this draft class. Some other notable names to be aware of. Kareem Livingston goes number 3rd. Sasha Kasparov 4. Julius Walker rounds out the 5. Biggest name of this draft class, bar none. I'm going to spoilers for the seasons ahead. Is Trey Hunter. Trey Hunter goes number 8. He's at a UCLA. He's a sophomore, and he is basically considered Steph Curry light. And I will say one of the biggest regrets that the Warriors have is taking Ibrahim Mobley at number 2 and not Trey Hunter at number 8. He becomes inarguably a top 3 player in the league. Future MVP is phenomenal. Memphis Reed is going to be the first of the Reed brothers. There's going to be 2 more that follow him, Franklin and Brighton. Brighton is going to be the best of the 3 in terms of prospect. He ends up going 12, but that's a family and a name to keep an eye on. Elton Dawkins is a really good center. Now into the future, he goes to Indiana. And then Jay Kingston, Victor Pressey, and Caden Dickerson, just kind of guys to keep an eye on. Caden Dickerson is a great find for Portland at 28 for what he ends up becoming as a really high-level starter. Moving through to the offseason, the Warriors know they need some more size, so what do? They're going to ship Andrew Wiggins to Indiana for Miles Turner. They just got beat up by Portland and Utah in the playoffs, so now they've got Anthony Edwards, Jonathan Kuminga, they just drafted Ibrahim Mobley, Aaron Gordon, and Draymond Green. Their wing depth is massive. Wiggins kind of just another button to that. They end up bringing in Miles Turner. Meanwhile, Kyrie Irving, he's stuck around Brooklyn last season when KD bolted. Not so this year. He's going to sign with the league worst Atlanta Hawks because, well, Kyrie's Kyrie. He heads to Atlanta. Meanwhile, Trae Young says, well, I'm headed north then. He goes to New York, and he signs with the Knicks. So a little New York to Atlanta swap, though. Brooklyn to Atlanta for Kyrie. Lakers signed Chris Paul towards the end of his career here, 2022-23 season. Spurs signed Zach LaVine and Mitchell Robinson. That pairs them with Cole Anthony and the rookie Sasha Kasparov, plus Scotty Barnes. It's actually a really good Spurs roster coming together. And the Knicks, to pair with Trae Young, get Jarrett Allen. Let's move to the regular season. We're trying to do this stuff all real quick. A lot of stuff going on. Steph Curry misses a lot of time. Has a couple knee injuries. The Warriors end up with the 6th seed. Meanwhile, the Jazz win 60 games. They get the top spot. And the Heat, coming off an NBA Finals defeat last year, they win a league best 65. Kyrie impresses. They win 45 games, which is a massive leap from just 9 the season before. They get the 6th seed. Clippers return to dominance, 55 wins. Lakers, they tumble. The Nets tumble. 28, 27 wins, respectively. That's the second worst in the conference, as the Suns won just 20 games and the Cavs win 26. Moving to your awards, Giannis AD, that's your MVP. Depoy, Cole Anthony gets 6th man. Anthony Edwards, most improved, and Julius Walker has a really good season for Rookie of the Year. All-NBA. Basically, the names that you would expect to see there. Klay Thompson has a big All-NBA second team in the absence of Stephen Curry. Kristaps Porzingis rising to All-NBA third team. But for the most part, the names in the All-NBA are what you would have expected by the year 2022. All right, let's move to the playoffs next, where 5 games creates loads of drama in the first round. 5 lower seeds pull upsets. The Warriors, as the 6, beat the Pelicans in 5, as they've really struggled to kind of establish themselves as a playoff team. Then the 7-seed Portland beats the Clippers in 5. The 5th-seeded Spurs beat Dallas in 5. The 6th-seeded Hawks, that's Kyrie going to work. He beats the Raptors, and the 5th-seeded Sixers beat Giannis and the Bucks in 4. That sets up a Warriors-Blazers rematch in the second round, with the Warriors with their new addition of Miles Turner winning 5. Utah beats San Antonio. They're headed to their second conference finals in 3 years, a third straight date with the Warriors in terms of playoff meetings. Kyrie goes up against former team Boston. He leads them past the Celtics and on to the conference finals, where he's going to get KD in Miami in the conference finals as Miami takes down the Sixers. KD and Kyrie square off. It's tied at 2 before the Heat end up winning that thing in 6. So we're getting a rematch. Steph and KD, Miami, Golden State back in the NBA Finals. When we get there, this might be the most competitive NBA Finals in NBA history. Warriors take it in 6, but by no means was this thing not competitive. The Warriors, every single game, 1 through 5, decided by 2 points or fewer. The only game that wasn't, obviously, a blowout in Game 6. Warriors take Game 1 thanks to a Jonathan Kuminga jumper with 18.2 seconds left, and then win Game 2 in overtime with a layup by Steph Curry. Actually, that's not an overtime, just a general layup by Steph Curry with 8.9 seconds left. Then the Warriors, of course, they roll in Game 6, 122-96. Back-to-back champs over the Miami Heat. That's 3 in a row, three-peating to join the Lakers and the Celtics and the Bulls as teams that have got it done. Actually, I don't think the Lakers have. Repeating 3 times. So the dynasty very much alive by the end of 2023. Steph Curry now 3 Finals MVP. He's got 6 rings, and he's looking to supplant himself as maybe the best point guard of all time.